Hello, it's Jeanette with Amazing Paper Crafts. Thank you again for joining me in my craft closet. Today I have a milk carton style sweet treat box, and inside this box you can put a truffle, or in this case I put a little Ferrero Rocher. I think that's how you pronounce it, because if you pronounce it how it sounds, it's Ferrero Rocher, but I think it's Rocher. Anyway, this little box measures 1.5 inches this way. It's actually like 1.5 inches cube here, but it's about 2.5 inches tall. It's just, really cute with the little window, and it's kind of a nice little treat to give somebody, just to sneak it in their desk. But anyway, this one I'm using the paper from the DSP stack from the Neutrals collection, and I'm going to make another one here to show you how I did that. And I'm also going to be using another piece from the Neutrals collection. Now this one has sort of a gold shine, very, very faint, like brushed gold shine on it. It's very pretty, and all of the DSP is two-sided, and I'm going to use the flowers side on this one. So this piece of paper measures 6.5 by 4.25. It's 6.5 by 4.25. And I'm going to take this to my scoreboard. And let me put my scoreboard in camera so that there's no glaring. Okay, now on the long side, I'm going to take my stylus and I'm going to score at 1.5 inches, at 3 inches, at 4.5 inches, and at 6 inches. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to score this at 1.5 inches, and then also again at 3 inches, and then at 3 3/4 inches. Okay, and now I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to take this and score at the 2.25 all the way down just to that first score line. Okay, and also I'm going to be taking this to the 5.25 just to that score line. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is remove this scoreboard, and I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet and my ruler, because what I need to do is I need to take this point to that corner right here and just give it a little score, because I'm going to need that for the milk carton shape. So just very gently. You don't even, I guess you could just do this on the table, just as long as you have a score line there that will help you fold the milk carton on the top part. Okay, and hopefully this ruler doesn't glare too much. Sorry about it if it does. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish all of my score lines, and I'm going to use my bone folder to help me make the creases nice and sharp. I'm going to fold that top part that I scored at the 3.5 inch mark. I'm scoring that like that. Okay, now have I missed anything? I don't think so. Yeah, I did. One more score line right here. Okay, here we go. Now I am going to, before I start cutting this, I'm going to be making the window here for so that, this little peekaboo window here, and I'm going to be using a little template for this. And let's see, what you're going to do is you're going to take this first square here and just try to center it the best you can. Okay, now this is a 1-inch circle, okay, that I punched out as a template with my 1-inch circle punch. And so now that I've got that there, which actually it's a little off, I'm going to move it a little bit more. Kind of eyeballing it. That's better. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and punch this circle out That's exactly where I need my circle to be. All right, and now I'm also going to be using a piece of window sheet, and this sheet measures 1 1/4 inches square, and I'm going to be putting some mini glue dots on this, on every corner of this little piece of window sheet. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this on the inside. So now I've got my window already made. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and decorate it once again before I put this box together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little white, just like I did this one here, this little white floral circle here. I'm just going to go ahead and make that for this, the same thing for this one. So I'm going to take my 1-inch circle punch and punch that out, and then I'm going to come in with my 1 1/4 inch scallop punch, and let's try to get that nice and even. Okay, very good. Now I've got this little floral thing that I can put on here, and I'm going to do that with my this little fine tip glue pen. And I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet, and I'm just going to put a little bit, you know, when you open this, you just open it from the white side, okay? Just the, you know, the white lid. Don't try to open it from here because it's hard to get back together again, and you might bend that when you do. So you don't have to squeeze this very much. I'm just going to put just a tiny little dot on each one of these scallops of this punched out little piece. And that should be enough to hold it together. Now this goes in nicely, and the pin always goes all the way down so that the glue doesn't dry out. I love that thing. Okay, so now I'm going to take some tweezers, and I'm going to just set this. I flip it over and set this down. Okay. And now I have my little floral right around the window sheet. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to start cutting things on this little box. So let me take my paper snips, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off this one little rectangle that's in the corner here because I don't need that. And the way I cut it is I like to fold and cut this way. Okay. And then I'm going to just kind of cut off that score line right there. Okay, and then I'm going to cut up all of these score lines on the bottom just to the score line here. Okay. Okay, and one more time. Okay, now I'm going to take some tear and tape, and I'm going to put a piece of tear and tape as close to this score line right here as I can, and then I'm going to trim that score line. I'm going to trim that little flap, and the reason I need to first I need to find the beginning of the score, this tear and tape. Okay, let me bring in my Silicone Craft Mat. That helps me to not stick everything to this grid sheet. Okay. Now I'm going to try to go as close to the score line as possible, but not going over the score line. Okay, so once I have that done, now if you notice, if I were to close this like this and put this together, you would see part of that flap through the window. So I'm going to go ahead and trim just up to that piece of tear and tape. Okay, and then I'm going to check it. And if it still wants to go to peek through, then I would trim it some more. But it seems to be working okay, and I won't see that little edge on the flap, hopefully. But just in case, I think I'm going to go ahead and trim it just a tad bit more, just to be on the safe side. Okay, you be the judge of how much you trim. Okay, so now I'm going to take off the top layer of this adhesive, this little sheet, protective sheet, And then I'm going, and I use my paper piercing tool for that. I'm going to fold this in, and I'm going to fold this over like this, trying to match up the score lines, be as neat as possible. Okay. All right, there we go. Now, I'm going to need to fold in these flaps on the side, but before I do, I want to put a little glue dot just in the middle of the first flap that I'm folding in. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want to hold that Ferrero Rocher, the little cupcake holder. I want to hold that in place so that even when you're shaking it around, it's not going to come loose or bounce around. So let me get my glue dots and all this little waste paper. Okay, I'm going to get one glue dot, and this is going to be the first one that I'm going to put in. So I'm going to put a glue dot right in the center right there. Okay, and now I put that in first. Come on. That's the first one that goes in. This is the second one that goes in. And since this is the back right here, that'll be the third one that goes over. And then I'm going to put some fast fuse on here. And then this is going to close everything up. Okay? And now your milk carton will fold in like this. Okay? And there you have it. Isn't that cute? See those score lines that you made? Those little diagonal score lines help it to fold just like a little milk carton. Okay, so now I'm going to punch some holes. Well, actually, why don't I go ahead and put a Ferrero Rocher inside here? Okay. Here we go. All right. Now I am going to just... Oh, by the way, because I want people to know what's in it, I'm going to take that label off the top of it, and I'm going to put that label on the side of this little piece of candy. And then I'm going to just gently lay this in there. Adjust this. Okay. So we're going to be putting this candy inside here so that the cupcake liner will adhere to that little glue dot, and you have to kind of do it real carefully so that you could also get the little Ferrero Rocher label to show through the window. Okay, that's better. That's good right there. Okay, you see that? All right, now it's time to put some holes on the top, and I'm going to punch 2 holes with my 1/8 inch handheld punch. Okay. Okay. And we'll go on the other side and do the same thing. All right, there you go. And I'm going to be using some of the gold, a 1/8 inch gold ribbon, and I think I just need about maybe 10 inches of it. That's what I'm going to cut off here. If It helps if you kind of make a little diagonal cut so that you can feed it through these holes a little easier. We're going from the front to the back, and we're just going to pull this even. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and try to make a bow here. Okay, let's try to make a bow here. Let's try to make a bow. Okay, we're going to go this way and under, and we're going to tighten it. Okay, we're going to make one bunny ear, and we're going to wrap that around, bring that over. Okay, that's not too bad. We'll just shorten the bows, and it looks a little twisted, but that's okay. We'll straighten it for the picture. Now I'm going to just make a couple of cuts here. I want to make that one a little bit more diagonal. Okay. All right, so enough with the bow. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of little decorations on here. And what I've done is using my little itty bitty accents punch. I punched out 2 little red flowers with this, and then I layered them. And I also just took a little piece of the leaf from this little punch here. This is called the Bird Builder punch, and I just took a couple of these little leaves from there just to put behind it, and a basic pearl in the middle. You see that? And then I just lifted everything up with my paper piercing tool. So I won't show you how to do that because I've shown that before. But I'm going to put that on with a mini glue dot. Okay, and I'm going to just go ahead and put that just right here on the corner, on the bottom corner right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp a sentiment on here. It's going to just say Sweet Treats, and I'm going to use soft suede ink because that is the color that pretty much matches this gold paper DSP that I'm using. Okay, and the sentiment I'm using is from the Teeny Tiny Wishes stamp set. This one is it's Sweet Treats. Okay, so I thought that was kind of appropriate because we have a little sweet treat in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp that. Okay, well, let me stamp it again. Okay, there, that's better. And then I'm going to take the word window punch. That's this one right here. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. Punch that out. You see that I don't have enough room on the paper to punch the whole thing out, but that's okay. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and punch that, and then I'm going to just take a little strip of this paper here. Okay, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue, a little bit of adhesive. I think I'll use some snail adhesive. And I am going to see, I stamped something on the other side of this. All right, I'm going to adhere this, and then I'm going to stick this back into the word window punch, and I'm going to go ahead and just go ahead punch it again. And now I've got a little shorter sentiment. I love that. So that it would fit right here on top of the box. And I think what I'll do is just very gently color the edges just to give this little tag some definition. Color on the edge. Okay, and we're going to close this up because we don't need it anymore. And I'm going to take some Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm just going to I'm just going to cut the bottom, a couple of the bottom piece or the edge pieces, because I really don't need a whole one. I could use like a half of one, but on the edges they're kind of like just half. So I'm going to put dimensional on one side, and then I'm going to put a dimensional on the other side, and so it can be lifted up on here. Let me take the backer paper off, and okay, I think I already did. No, I didn't. Okay, there it goes. All right, and we're just going to center this right here the best we can. Okay, well, that's good enough right there, and we're done. Isn't that cute? These are going to make some really cute little gifts. You can put them on a table for a party, maybe baby shower, wedding shower. Oh, I'm sure you can think of all the different things you can do with these little boxes. And when they see that little Ferrero Rocher in there, oh my goodness, some really, really good chocolate. So I hope that you try this. If you need any of the supplies and the tools that I used in this video, please go to my website at www.geomazingpapercrafts.stampinup.net. I would be happy to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator if you don't already have one. So once again, I am Jeanette with Geomazing Paper Crafts, and you make it a great day. Bye-bye.